Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel. And my channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. Thank you very much for joining me again. I got another beautiful review for you. And I've got to tell you that this review, I've got to thank Brendan Schmidt at Atlas Stationers. As I mentioned in one of my recaps, this guy is everywhere and everywhere. I mean, guys like, Gold Spot, Goulet Pens, Pen Chalet, Apple Boom, and of course Atlas. These are our suppliers. They're great people, and lately I've learned to more and more appreciate Brendan Schmidt at Atlas. He's all over social media. He uses all the platforms that he can to promote his products and to inform the public, our community. It's a small niche community and he does a great job. But I gotta tell you, I discovered I kind of do my own surfing in terms of when it comes time to purchase. But in December I stumbled upon one of his experienced sale days. Okay, and I said, let me see what gives. And I was curious, and I think he's got it on YouTube and a Discord server, if I get that right. So it was in the process. I think it was halfway through, and I quickly joined and kind of inscribed my name and opened an account, and I was there and I got to know a little bit how the whole thing works. Well, the way it works is that he presents a pen. He's got all these pens on sale, and when he's got them on sale, he then presents it. He shows a close-up of it, and then when the green light goes on, if you want to buy, you've got to push the button. And if you're first to push that button, then you get it. If you push the button too early, before the green light goes on, well, then you get disqualified, so to speak. I did that several times until I realized that I wasn't supposed to do that. But by the time I got the hang of it, the pen I'm going to be reviewing today appeared. It's a GRAIL pen. It's an Italian pen. It's a masterpiece. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the Visconti Opera Master in the Savanna color. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're back with the review. Yeah, Brendan, thank you very much. This pen is, boy, does it give me fountain pen therapy. So when I ordered it, because it's on sale, I think Brendan always kind of warns us if there's a problem with a nib or if there's a major issue with it. Sometimes people don't like it, they return it, they don't like the color, they may not like the nib size, and he kind of puts it on the side because it's already been pre-experienced, if you will. And then he has these, I think they're monthly sales, but I promise Brendan I will be there. And in any event, I got this pen at a fabulous price, and the rest is history. Let's open it up, folks. So it comes in this beautiful Visconti wrapped cardboard. The box is inside. Here it is. Very elegant. as usual, from Visconti. You open it up, and there is the gem. Isn't that a gorgeous, gorgeous writing instrument? We'll take a look at that in a second. Underneath, you have a small pamphlet giving you some information in several languages. And of course, you've got my Visconti card, which, confirms the model. It is a limited edition. There's only 888 only. It's quite a few, but there's 888 of these pens. And I have number 49. And we'll show you where that is imprinted on the pen in a second. It's a palladium plated. It has 18 karat nib, a double reservoir system, and it's made out of resin. Its name is Opera Master, so that is the if you will, the king size version of the Opera collection, and it's the Savanna version of the pen. So there you have it. We will take out the pen from its bedding, put the box aside, and let's take a close look at this gem. Just a beautiful, beautiful pen. First thing to mention, wow, it's got some heft, it's got some weight, it's a big pen, it's got facets. How many facets? I didn't count them, I should have. I'm not going to bore you with that, but it has more than 6, I would think. Very, very nice. It's got the V for Visconti, the V branding right there, right in the center. It's got that classic Visconti palladium coated clip inspired by the Ponte Vecchio in Florence, where of course Visconti has its main operations. It's enameled, yellow enamel there for the Visconti engraved 3D-ish. It's got that nice finial system that you could replace with various other tops, if you will. For example, we will do a comparison of my Homo sapiens. My Homo sapiens, I replaced the top with VG, which are my initials. You could do that. They offer all kinds of alternatives. I'm going to take a look at whether or not I may already have some alternative buttons, if you will. But for the time being, it's got its original one. So there you have it. Very, very nice. Beautiful center band. It's got this piston that you could remove, or the piston knob, and we'll show you that in a second. Very, very big pen. It opens up. It's got this special system of doing things. You kind of push and then rotate. So it keeps it, so you push it and then close it up. It's supposed to, I guess, seal it properly, prevent drying. So there you have it. You push and you open it up. And there is a beautiful 18 karat nib, Visconti. In the past, these Visconti nibs have always evoked problems with quality control. But so far, I've been lucky with the more expensive pens, be it my Homo sapiens or this one. I've been lucky. You'll see I've written with this pen before this review. I think I've lucked out. Beautiful, beautiful 18 karat nib. It has a plastic feed. I don't believe that that's ebonite. It's got a steel section there, but I would tell you that it's not slippery. The mere weight of this pen kind of stabilizes the grip, if you will. So it's not a problem, but look how nice and big and juicy it is. So it's beautiful. Does it post? Yes, it does. But I would say to you that it's kind of a little bit too big when it posts, and a little bit top heavy. If I grab the pen, hold the pen a little higher up, not bad. But if I go down to my to the actual section, it's extremely back weighted. So I would not recommend posting this pen. And it's so gorgeous, I don't want to ruin any of the resin. It does have a kind of a transparency to it, that resin. Beautiful resin. Very deep, almost like marble-like, very, very nice. And of course, what it has is and I'm going to be very careful here because I don't want to spill anything, but it's got this double reservoir vacuum filling mechanism. Oh, by the way, now that we're there, now you can see that this number 49 of 888 is inscribed there, and you pull it out, and then you just put it in the ink bottle, push it down, wait 5 seconds for it to fill up, and there you go. The rest is done. I'm not sure there's a difference between the double reservoir Visconti system and the power filler. I think it's the same thing. Essentially, the theory is that you have a shut-off valve there. So you can put the pen upside down, make all the ink go down, shut off the valve there, so it prevents ink from going into the rest of the section, so that when you travel, if there's any change of temperature, etc., or height, and it kind of it prevents the pen from burping, I guess, or leaking, and that's the system. But essentially, similar to the Pilot vacuum systems and even the Asvine, if you will. So the V200, I mean. So there you have it. That represents. Let me just close that up. Oh, one thing I wanted to check for you is the interior of this pen. What does it have? Oh, there's a step down there. I can see it. So far, I've not had any problems with drying, none whatsoever. Very nice finishing in there. You can tell this is an expensive pen. I like the fact that actually, you could probably see it better without the light. You see, there's the band kind of covers the resin, so it makes it stronger. So especially if you got to maneuver this closing system. So frankly, I don't know what was wrong with this pen and why it was put on sale for such a ridiculous price, but I'm glad it was. It was on my GRAIL pen list, and it now forms part of my GRAIL pen family. So there you have it. That's a complete review of its design and features. Let me do some comparisons next. Okay, here's the pen comparison. Isn't that a wonderful... when I look at these pens, I say to myself, thank goodness, I got to thank the Lord that I could afford all these pens. Quite lucky, and these pens provide me more sanity than anything else other than my family. So, thank you, Brendan Schmidt, for just adding another gem to my collection. There are many more, but these are my, the ones I wanted to share with you. For the comparison, you got my Sailor King of Pen. You've got my Pelican M1000, Pennider La Grande Bellezza, the Visconti Homo Sapiens, the Subject Opera Master, the Santini Libra, the Scribo La Dotta, the GRAIL pen in my collection, my favorite, my Delta Dolce Vita oversized original, and this is my Montblanc 149. And as you can see, the Opera Master is the master of them all. It towers them all. Beautiful, beautiful pen, even in terms of girth. It is, challenges all the rest. Perhaps the girth of this Dolce Vita is a little bit more, and these, the girthier section of the Sailor. But you know what, folks? It's girthy. It's my first, I guess, more expensive faceted pen, which is nice. I've always wanted to own a faceted pen. I now have one. So it meets all my requirements. Thank you very much. Bought it at a great price. What else can I say? So there you have the pens capped. Let's do an uncapped comparison. I will not do a posted comparison just because this pen, the Subject pen, the Opera Master, doesn't post very well. It's completely back-weighted, so I'm not going to bore you with that. It does post, but extremely uncomfortable, and some of the other pens post very comfortably. So there you have it. I'm not going to do the posted comparison, but we will come back with the uncapped comparison. Okay, so here the pen's uncapped. Some people would say that that pen or the subject pen could have been just fabulous had it been, designed with a number 8 size nib. But sometimes, number 8 size nibs are overrated. Having said that, when you take a look at this Sailor and this Pelican, this Dolce Vita and this Mont Blanc, I really like the size of those huge nibs. But even then, even with the oversized nibs here, the rest are number 6 size. The Opera Master is still, in terms of length anyway, ahead of them all. Beautiful, beautiful nib. It is palladium plated as opposed to my rose gold Homo sapien. But there you have it. Beautiful pens. And I'm so glad the Brinches Schmidt of Atlas has permitted me to own, finally, an Opera Master. So there you have it. As I repeat, I'm not going to do a comparison of a posted because some of these pens post really nicely and some of them don't. And the subject pen just is ridiculously top-heavy, so we won't do that. I will put up some measurements, and especially that weight. Pay attention to that weight. It'll give you an idea of how heavy that pen really is. And then we'll do a writing sample. We're back for the writing sample. First and foremost, the ink. The ink that I'll be using today is the Iroshizuku Takesumi. I got to tell you that I've pre-inked this pen, and I did try to give it a go with a kind of a yellow gold ink, and I took some of my, the darkest one or the best one I prefer the best, which is the Three Oyster Mustard one, and even a Robert Oster Honeybee, I think it was. And neither of them really stood out. It's a fine nib, very fine, and I felt it didn't do justice to that nib. And yellow inks are always, you can always find an issue with them because they are fairly light. So I decided that I would give this pen a real go. And rather than go with my standard blue, which I love these days, I decided to put the Iroshizuku, a very nice ink, the Takesumi. Here it is. Beautiful, beautiful ink. Probably my favorite black ink. So that's the ink that I've gone with. And in terms of paper, my usual Tomoe River, get rid of that. Original paper, by the way, the original Tomoe River, not the Sanson. I think by now you know that I don't like the Sanson. I think, and especially recent Sanson, I think there's some defects in that paper. But that's another story for another time. So here you have it. Let's do this writing sample. So this is the Visconti Opera Master Savanna. Now, I've seen Savanna spelled with A and with an H at the end, so I'm not sure which is right or which is wrong. But there you have it. The nib is a number 6, 18 karat Visconti fine nib. The ink, it's the Iroshizuku Takesumi. Now, the nib, beautiful nib, fine. Some would argue even bordering on extra fine. Is it an extra fine? No, it's a fine. It's a very, very fine nib. We'll compare it to my Homo sapiens in a second. but it's very smooth. It's got some spring to it. And as you can see, it's fairly wet. So it's wet. It's smooth. Without being very soft, I don't want to mislead you to think that it's as soft as for example, my Scribo or even my Superflexi Santini, but it is soft. And the line is constant. By that I mean consistently good. No skips and no hard starts. Fast writing. As you can see, keeps up very, very, very well. Reverse writing, even though I hate doing this, not the greatest. It's barely you can write with it, and I just don't like. I get the sense that I'm going to ruin the nib if I do that. So I don't think it should be used for reverse writing. I don't think any nibs should be, but that's another story. That's just my opinion. So there you have it. Now, when you compare it, let's compare it to my Homo sapiens. I feel like my Homo sapiens has got a little more flow to it, but I could be wrong. Let's just see. I haven't used this pen in a while, so it may not be. Oh, wait a minute. Is it a medium? No, this is a fine. So this is you can see that it just has a little more flow to it. This writes more like a fine, in my view, and the Opera Master writes more like an extra fine. Or something in between. And Takesumi is it's a wet ink, I think, anyway. Now, some people would say you shouldn't compare that because I'm using different inks. They're correct. But when I look at the tipping, it's just that the tipping on the Homo sapien, the ball is just slightly, I don't know if you could see that, but the ball, in my view, is just slightly bigger. And, it just goes to show you how these things can vary. The nib is the same, I would think. But just the tipping on the Homo sapiens the ball there looks just slightly bigger. And I think it's reflected in the writing. But having said that, it is very consistent, very smooth, very wet. When I say wet, I mean wet in terms of it's fine. Characteristic, right? So it's all in context. Likes everything, folks, especially the price. The design is original. The build quality is outstanding. The nib is outstanding. The value, I don't know. You could argue that its original value may not be reflecting, reality. I mean, when you pay thousands of dollars for any pen, you could argue that the value is not there. But having said that, the price I paid for this is extremely good. I won't reveal it because I don't want to, you're going to have to check it out yourselves. Go to the Experience pen sale that Atlas has, and you'll see, it could vary from pen to pen and from timing to timing. So I don't think it would be fair because then you would be expecting to get the same thing next time. And I wouldn't want to, do that. So the value for me anyway was just excellent, 10 on 10. Yes, sir, indeed. Dislikes? Zero, folks. There's nothing I dislike about this pen. It's absolutely just gorgeous. There you have it. Another masterpiece, in my view. Indeed, another masterpiece. So, another GRAIL pen added to my collection. A beautiful Italian pen. Visconti. You know, when I think about a year ago, or less than a year ago, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, before my vacation, I owned some of the cheaper Viscontis that I was extremely disappointed with, and kind of vowed that I would never buy a Visconti. And now I've got two gems, and they're two beautiful gems. And I'm looking at a third. So, you know, never say never, as they say. Never say never. Beautiful GRAIL pen. Grazie molto. Thank you very much for joining me. Please subscribe. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down, but let me know why. And, you know, enjoy your pens, enjoy your families, enjoy the winter season if you can. And you know what? Fountain pen therapy for all of you. That's what I wish you. Thank you. Bye now.